everyone, you're watching The Last Word with me, Marya Shakil. The ongoing protest over Maratha Quota has turned violent once again. Maharashtra MLA Prakash Solanke's home in Beed district was vandalized and set on fire. The protests were triggered by alleged comments against a hunger strike by pro-quota activist Manoj Jarange Patil from October 25th. Protesters also threw stones and damaged a vehicle parked outside the home of Mr Solanke. On The Last Word, I will be decoding the agitation as it enters a new phase. Several MLAs and MPs in Maharashtra have now been stopped from entering their villages. I will be speaking on the experts on the show, but first up, the story.
NCP MLA Prakash Solanke's house in Beed was set ablaze on Monday by angry agitators demanding reservation for Marathas. They also blocked roads and disrupted traffic in Beed, Solapur and Hingoli. Sporadic incidents of arson were also reported in these areas. The once peaceful agitation is now taking a violent turn, and some say it is also losing its focus. And this demand for Maratha reservation is proving to be trial by fire for the Shinde government. While Chief Minister Eknath Shinde hasn't outrightly rejected it, he maintains that it is a delicate matter and he may need more time to resolve it.
अभी जो कुछ घटनाएं हो रही है, इसका भी विचार मराठा समाज के लोगों ने करना चाहिए, क्योंकि ये इसके वजह से आंदोलन को क्या कहते हैं, एक दूसरी दिशा में ये आंदोलन जा रहा है. सरकार अगर कुछ निगेटिव होती तो ऐसा करना हम समझ सकते थे, उचित था, लेकिन सरकार पूरी तरह से गंभीरता से इसमें काम कर रही है.
A hunger strike by Manoj Jarange Patil, a coordinator for the Maratha Morcha, is adding fuel to the fire. Monday marked the 6th day of his agitation and there were reports that Patil's health was deteriorating rapidly. The government has been appealing to him to end his strike, but he is refusing to budge till reservation for Marathas is announced. Meanwhile, the committee under retired Judge Shinde has submitted its report to the Shinde government. The report will be taken up in a cabinet meeting on Tuesday. The committee has examined 1 crore 30 lakh documents submitted by the Maratha community. Of these, only 11,530 people have been found to have proof that they belong to the Kumbi community. This is less than 10% of the Maratha population. The Shinde government is mulling granting reservation to Marathas within the Kumbi quota. This has angered the OBC community in Maharashtra. The Shinde government plans to base its curative petition before the Supreme Court on the findings and recommendations of this report. Amidst all this, the opposition met the governor to demand a special session be convened to discuss the Maratha reservation issue.
तुरंत ध्यान देने की ज़रूरत है. जो मौजूदा हालात हैं वो थोड़े गंभीर हो चुके हैं. विधायक के घर जलाए जा रहे हैं, गाड़ियाँ तोड़ी जा रही है, लोगों को मना कर दिया है गाँव में आने से. ये बड़ा सीरियस इशू है. इसकी वजह से काफ़ी मुश्किलें पैदा हुई है और जब लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन से भी गंभीर हो सकती है. तो तुरंत राज्यपाल को हमने विनती की कि उसको इंटरवीन करें और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट को भी निर्देश दें कि वो फैसला इसमें तुरंत कानूनी तौर पर करें और गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का भी इंटरवेंशन आवश्यकता है, ऐसा मुझे लगता है.
मेरी अपेक्षा है सरकार से, आदरणीय मुख्यमंत्री जी से, कि वो इसके ऊपर चर्चा करे और जल्द से जल्द निर्णय करे.
There seems to be no easy answers to the complex issue of reservation for the Maratha community. The question is, will the Shinde government survive this trial by fire? With Rona Kude in Mumbai, Osama Shah for NDTV.
Joining me on the show is former Maharashtra Chief Minister Prithviraj Chavan. Mr. Chavan, really appreciate your time. The Maharashtra government has announced some interim measures that it will be issuing certificates to the descendants of those recorded as part of the Kunbi subcaste during the pre-independence Nizam era to enable them to get quota under the OBC category. But why is that move failing to pacify protesters?
Well, that is just a sleight of hand. Maharashtra government had appointed a committee under one Mr. Shinde, who had examined 1,72,00,000 applications and names in a Marathwada region, which is Aurangabad region of Maharashtra, 8 districts. Now, out of that, they found 11,000 odd 500 people who had adequate documentation. Now, Maratha Kundis are already included in the OBC category, so they are already entitled to reservation. All the government has done today is just to issue, they probably will issue directions tomorrow in the cabinet, is that who of these 11,000 people who have some documentation calling them OBCs, their certificate should be expedited. Now, this is their right as per the existing laws. So there's nothing new that the government has done. Now, we are talking about a state which has a population of 14 crore odd people. Maratha population is about 32%. And you're talking about 11,000 people. That's not going to fool anybody. The agitation is becoming violent. People's representatives, elected representatives are being forced to resign. Many of them have already written letters to the respective presiding officers, putting in their resignations. And there is a discord in the top triumvirate of Maharashtra, the 3 leaders, the chief minister and the 2 deputy CMs. Today, the 3 of them were supposed to attend a program in Yavatmal in Amaravati. The 2 deputy CMs did not attend. One of them called in sick, other one was missing. Only CM went and attended the program. There's a huge discord at the highest level of the government, and the agitation is going on unabated. Mr. Jarange Patil, whose fast unto death has caused this whole agitation to explode recently, had earlier gone on fast, and the chief minister went particularly personally to assuage him and end his fast, and he had given 1 month to government. CM had promised him that within 1 month I'll find a solution. Another 10 days passed, so 40 days are over, and Mr. Jarange Patil has renewed his fast unto death. It's now about 5th or 6th day. His condition is precarious, and government is completely clueless about how to handle the situation.
Okay, since you're saying that the government is clueless, we did see Jarange Patil last month call off his 17-day hunger strike, and that happened in the presence of the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde. My question now is, as former Chief Minister, what do you see is a potential solution? Because the protest is turning violent, and if anything, the state government is also not getting any relief or support from the Supreme Court.
Well, the point is, this government, particularly Fadnavis government from 14 to 19 and the current Shinde government, has not taken this issue seriously at all. See, the original demand for Maratha reservation goes back to 1902, when Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj in Kolhapur state announced reservation for certain communities, 50% reservation in government jobs in 1902. That's the beginning of the reservation in this part of the country. Now, later on after independence, Maharashtra government, the government of India announced a couple of backward classes commission, the Kalelkar commission and the Manzil commission. They did not accept Marathas as backward, and they called Marathas forward community. But the agitation goes on. Now, for the first time after the formation of Maharashtra government in 1960, my government, when I was the chief minister, from 2010 to 2014, we gave a 16% reservation to Maratha community and 5% reservation to backward communities and Muslim community. Now, unfortunately, since NCP brought a government down in before the 2014 Vidhan Sabha election, we lost the election, and Devendra Fadnavis and Shiv Sena came into power. Now, our ordinance which was promulgated on July 14 was rejected by the High Court after our government went. So that was the first set of reservations that my government had given for the first time in 50 years. That was in July 2014. After that, you come to 2018. The central government passed the Constitution 102nd Amendment Bill, where they withdrew all the authority of the state governments to declare any community as backward community.
Okay.
So that was the 102nd Constitution Amendment Bill passed by Mr. Modi. Now, after that, when state had no authority to give any reservation to any community, a few months later, in November, December 2018, just months before the Vidhan Sabha election of 2019, Mr. Devendra Fadnavis, Chief Minister, announces a new reservation for Marathas and gives 12% reservation, which was accepted by High Court but promptly rejected by the Supreme Court. Now that law has been rejected. Now Maharashtra government went to a review petition, which also stands rejected. Now there is a demand that a final attempt at a curative petition be adopted. Now, there is a very little chance of curative petition being successful, but that way has to be, that avenue has to be explored. In the meanwhile, I think there is a way to give a reservation to Maratha community by exceeding, just like the EWS reservation given to 10% people by Mr. Narendra Modi. Similarly, a 10% reservation or 12% reservation can be given to Maratha community over and above the current 10% EWS reservation. This is not over and above 50% because the Maratha community is not entitled to the current 50% reservation, which is only for SC, STs and OBCs.
Okay.
Currently no reservation at all. So if they're given 10% reservation out of the remaining 50% or out of the reservation, I think that should, that doesn't violate the Supreme Court 50% reservation norm. So I think our demand is that now since the whole matter has gone to Delhi, the Chief Minister Shinde, Fadnavis and Pawar should go to Delhi and convince the Prime Minister to give a 10% or 12% reservation to Maratha community by amending whatever the law that is required to be amended in Delhi.
Okay, Mr. Chavan, my last question to you. Hemant Patil, who's a member of parliament from the Shiv Sena, which is led by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, on Sunday announced his resignation as MP in support of the community. Today we saw what happened outside, in fact, at NCP MLA Prakash Solanke's house, which was torched. The anger is clearly against the public representatives. So it's not about a particular party, one would say. The people in general feel that none of them delivered.
There is one MLA, I've just heard a news that one MLA from INC, Congress Party, as a matter of chief whip of the Congress Party, has also written a letter to, I think, Speaker. That may not be an official resignation because the resignation has to be physically handed over to the Speaker. But he has written a letter offering to resign or tendering his resignation. So elections are around the corner next year. So people are getting agitated. And particularly, the agitation is very violent in the Marathwada region. There are the beatings going on in the Maratha community because the feeling that the current government has deceived the Maratha community by just involving them in talks and committees and scholarships and all that. But the basic demand for reservation in government jobs and educational institutions has not been met. Now, this whole crisis has suddenly erupted because there is a grave crisis of unemployment. There's a grave crisis of Maharashtra government having announced privatization of many government jobs recently, which they had to withdraw. There is an anger in the community that, first of all, the government jobs are not available, and whatever government jobs are available, they're being privatized. So there'll be no reservation for any community at all. So there is a huge anger against the current dispensation, the Shinde, Fadnavis and Pawar government, and they also don't seem to be pulling together. There seems to be a discord, and they made a dash to Delhi to convince the Prime Minister and the ministers in Delhi to help them out and all, but they're point blank refused to do anything in Delhi. So I don't know what the Chief Minister is going to do. What he's announced today is a completely meaningless. It says that right, that power is already there. That reservation is already there with whatever people they are given it to. So nothing new has been done today. Let's
All
see what
right.
they do tomorrow.
All right, Prithviraj Chavan, always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Let me bring in my guests. Vinod Patil is Maratha Kranti Morcha petitioner. We have Krishna Hegde, he's spokesperson of Shiv Sena Shinde faction. Krishna Hegde, one may agree with the question being asked by your opponents, where is the state government? Where is the Home Minister? And can the state really absolve itself from the deteriorating law and order?
Marya, firstly, let me tell you that we are highly concerned about the health of Manoj Jarange Patil ji, and we would request him to take whatever medical assistance he would like to, because his health is a primary concern. Secondly, also, let me tell you that we are committed to the Maratha reservation. Our Honorable Chief Minister Eknath Shinde ji is himself a Maratha, and in front of lakhs and crores of people, he has taken a promise in front of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj that he will give the reservation to the Marathas. So on that, today itself, 11,530 Marathas have been given reservation under the Kumbhi category, on which they can avail the benefits. Tomorrow, Justice Sandeep Shinde is going to submit his report before the cabinet, and his report will be placed, and whatever decision our Honorable Chief Minister takes, I am sure that
Okay,
will be
then why is
positive.
Vinod Patil not convinced? Here is a Maratha Chief Minister promising his own people. Vinod Patil?
नहीं, यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट. व्हाट इज आवर डिमांड? हमारा डिमांड यही है कि पिछले 7 साल के बाद पहली बार महाराष्ट्र को मराठा मुख्यमंत्री मिला है. और जो मराठा मुख्यमंत्री आदरणीय एकनाथ शिंदे साहब है, जैसे हेगड़े साहब ने कहा कि छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज के सामने उन्होंने सौगंध ली, मैं रिजर्वेशन दूंगा. सवाल ये खड़ा होता है कि पिछले 1.5 साल से पहले जब उद्धव ठाकरे साहब सीएम थे महाराष्ट्र के, उस वक्त मराठा रिजर्वेशन ये स्टक डाउन हुआ. ये सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने इसको कैंसिल किया. पहले हम हाई कोर्ट में जीते थे, सुप्रीम कोर्ट में 3 दोषी हमारे, 3 जस्टिस ने कहा हम नहीं दे सकते, 2 जस्टिस ने कहा हम देंगे. फिर उसके बाद रिव्यू करने के लिए भी 1 साल का समय लगा, और पिछले 6 महीना से हम हमेशा डेली फॉलोअप ले रहे गवर्नमेंट को, आपको कुछ कदम उठाना चाहिए. इसके अलावा मैं आपको स्पष्ट बता दूं कि 30 दिन पहले माननीय मुख्यमंत्री महोदय, जहां हमारा अनशन चल रहा है, हमारे भाई मनोज भाई जहां बैठे, वह खुद आए और उन्होंने कहा हमें 30 दिन का समय चाहिए. आज युवा जो भड़क रहा है उसकी भावनाओं को समझना चाहिए. पहले अभी पृथ्वीराज चौहान साहब का मैं सुन रहा था, उनके समय मिला, वो मुंबई हाईकोर्ट में कैंसिल हुआ. फडणवीस साहब के समय मिला, वो मुंबई हाईकोर्ट में टिका, दिल्ली सुप्रीम कोर्ट में कैंसिल हुआ, और अभी हमारे रिजर्वेशन को लेकर कोई बात नहीं होती. हमारा सवाल क्या है? हमारा सवाल महाराष्ट्र को और आपको विशेष रूप से यही है कि महाराष्ट्र ये एकमेव राज्य है जिसके अंदर चारों विपक्ष और सत्ताधारी ये फिर सत्ता में आए. पहली बार जब देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी और अजित पवार साहब सत्ता में आए तो वहां पे शरद पवार साहब और उद्धव ठाकरे साहब सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए, उन्होंने उनका डिस्क्वालिफिकेशन किया. पहली बार बिजनेस में हस्तक्षेप किया सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने, उन्होंने इस्तीफा दिया. फिर एकनाथ शिंदे साहब जब सत्ता में आए, उनको पार्टी मिली, उनको सिंबल मिला. अब अजित पवार साहब जब सत्ता में आए, उनको भी पार्टी मिली. तो मेरे जैसे यह सवाल पूछना चाहता है सरकार को कि पवार साहब को भी कोर्ट समझा है, उद्धव ठाकरे साहब को भी कोर्ट समझा है, अजित पवार साहब को भी कोर्ट समझा है, फडणवीस साहब को भी कोर्ट समझा है, और एकनाथ शिंदे साहब को भी कोर्ट समझा है. जब चारों लोग को सत्ता में आने के लिए कोर्ट में क्या क्या करना पड़ता है, किस तरह से दलील करना पड़ती है, ये समझता है, पर मराठा रिजर्वेशन के लिए कोई भी कदम नहीं.
सिंसियरिटी क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं विनोद पाटिल जी, आप सरकार की सिंसियरिटी क्वेश्चन कर रहे हैं. आपको भरोसा नहीं है कि वो डिलीवर करेंगे मुख्यमंत्री?
नहीं, इसीलिए भरोसा नहीं है कि समय काफी हो चुका है और इसमें नई बात कुछ नहीं है. आज जो सत्ता में आए ये 2019 में विपक्ष में थे, फिर ये सत्ता में आए, अभी फिर विपक्ष में गए. पहली बार ऐसा हुआ है कि चारों पक्ष मेरे महाराष्ट्र में सत्ता में आए हैं, और सभी लोग मराठा है, उनको हमारा दुख दर्द पता है, और उनकी खुद की जब बारी आती है तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में क्या क्या करना पड़ता है उनको पता है, और उनका समय निकल जाता है.
So Krishna Hegde, the point here is that if the community here, the Maratha reservation, those who are demanding it, being represented by Vinod Patil, if they do not have faith in the political class, because if you look at the developments, they have banned the entry of politicians to villages. Over 400 villages have passed resolutions in the regard, while some have written to the authorities about their decisions. Then how will there be talks. I mean, what is the way out of this?
हम विनोद जी के भावना समझ सकते हैं. We understand the sentiments of the Maratha brothers and sisters, and we are committed to the reservation. However, I agree with Vinod ji that this thing is taking time. We are delayed by 10 days. We had given a time limit. However, we are working on it. That Vinod ji cannot dispute that we are working on it. This entire issue is going on since 1980. Since 1980, Sharad Pawar Sahab has been the Chief Minister of Maharashtra 4 times. He's been a central minister. He's been leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. He's ruled Maharashtra for 17 and a half years. The Congress party was ruling in the center and in the state for over 60 years. See, we are not blaming anyone or playing any blame game. But I want to tell you something, that whatever today the Marathas are getting reservations through the Kumbhi certificates of the Nizam Shahi area, or whether the 3-member justice committee has been formed, whether tomorrow their reports are coming in front of the cabinet, and whatever positive steps are taken have been taken in the last 1 year. But our concern today is Manoj Jarange Patil's health, and also the reservation for our Maratha brothers and sisters, and we are committed to it. Our Chief Minister and both our Deputy Chief Ministers.
So temporarily, after this subcommittee that has been created on Maratha reservation and these caste certificates that are being issued, Vinod Patil ji, you still feel that there is no sincerity of Shinde government?
We are just fed up of all these things. मैं आपको स्पष्ट बता दूं कि वही बात दोहराई जा रही है सरकार की ओर से. आज जो निर्णय हुआ, ये निर्णय 25 साल से महाराष्ट्र में है कि जिन किसी के पास प्रूफ होंगे, जिन किसी के पास डॉक्यूमेंट्स होंगे, दे आर एलिजिबल फॉर द सर्टिफिकेट्स. उसमें कोई नई बात नहीं है. और 11,500 का फिगर ये जो बार बार बताया जा रहा है, ये गवर्नमेंट का फेलियर है. मैं आपको स्पष्ट रूप से बता दूं, मराठवाड़ा जहां से मैं आता हूं, हमारे पे पहले औरंगजेब का राज था, फिर निजाम का राज आया, उसके बाद महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट आई. हमारे पास रिकॉर्ड नहीं है, क्योंकि हमारे पास जब जमीनें नहीं थी, हम रिकॉर्ड देंगे कहां से? इनको समय किस लिए चाहिए? मैं हेगड़े साहब के द्वारा सरकार को ये पूछना चाहता हूं, अगर आपको मालूम है कि हमें समय चाहिए, फिर 30 दिन के बाद आपने क्यों की? अगर आपको लग रहा है कि अभी हम बहुत जल्द कर रहे हैं, और आपने जो 1980 की बात करी, मैं 1980 की रिजर्वेशन में बात नहीं कर रहा हूं. जिस सरकार में आपके साथ जो उप मुख्यमंत्री बैठे हैं फडणवीस साहब, उनकी सरकार में ये दिया है. और मराठा समाज का युवा क्या बोल रहा है कि नई चीज कुछ नहीं आ रही. ये पिछले 30 दिन में आप प्रोग्रेस रिपोर्ट समाज के सामने रख सकते थे. हमने क्या क्या किया? आज भी कुछ नई बात हुई नहीं है हेगड़े साहब. हम टाइम बाउंड प्रोग्राम चाहते हैं. कब तक हम रास्ते की लड़ाई लड़ेंगे? कब तक हम अनशन करेंगे? 48 से ज्यादा युवाओं ने बलिदान दिया है. हम हमारे प्राण कब तक गंवाएंगे? सवाल यह है, रिजर्वेशन आप दे सकते हैं, आप कदम उठा सकते हैं, क्यों नहीं उठा रहे?
लेकिन अगर सुप्रीम कोर्ट का कैप है तो उससे व्हाट इज द वे आउट?
देयर इज वे आउट. अगर मैं थोड़ा स्पष्ट बोलूं, सुप्रीम कोर्ट का कैप बहुत सी चीजों में है. फिर ईडब्ल्यूएस रिजर्वेशन जो लोकसभा ने दिया, उसमें 10% की जो मर्यादा है, उसके आगे जाके लोकसभा ने एक्ट किया, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने माना. हम पिछड़े हैं, इसके हजारों एग्जांपल्स है, वो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने माना. अभी सवाल यह है कि जो रिव्यू में ये नहीं कर पाए, वो क्रिएटिव में करेंगे क्या? और इनके पास जो ऑप्शंस उपलब्ध है, आज इन्होंने सब कमेटी की, ये 4 महीने पहले भी कर सकते थे. ये किस चीज की राह देखते? गवर्नमेंट में मेल नहीं है. तीनों पार्टी अलग अलग घोषणाएं करती है, तीनों पार्टी के बयान अलग अलग है. मराठा समाज टाइम बाउंड चीज डिमांड कर रहा है पिछले 7 साल से 8 साल से.
So you feel that the government which is functioning at present in Maharashtra is not in sync. The political parties that are running the government are not in sync.
They are not at all serious about my issue. If they might be serious, they are not done time pass. And with a very, very, very clear thought, I want to put on the floor that this government came from the court. Back government also came from the court. And in Maharashtra, 4 parties enter in the government through the Supreme Court decision only. They know the court better than me, better than my
community. So you feel that there is a way out?
What they are doing, why they are not doing the thing which they had did to form the government.
Vinod Patil and Krishna Hegde, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And now, let's take a look at how these protests have been going on for months. Remember, protesters have been demanding reservation in government jobs and educational institutions. A quick recap of the protests that have been going on, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.
A big dilemma for the Eknath Shinde government in Maharashtra after days of protests by the Maratha community that has been demanding reservations in government jobs and educational institutions. The opposition has supported the protesters, with NCP President Sharad Pawar demanding that the centre remove the 50% cap on quotas and raise it by 15 to 16% to accommodate more communities. In November 2018, the Maharashtra Assembly passed a bill proposing 16% reservation in education and government jobs for the Maratha community. Devendra Fadnavis was the Chief Minister then. In June 2019, the High Court upheld the reservation but asked the government to reduce it from 16% as recommended by the State Backward Classes Commission. But in May 2021, when Uddhav Thackeray was Chief Minister, the Apex Court held that the Maratha reservation was unconstitutional and struck it down. For the Shinde government, it's a tightrope walk. Any fresh move on Maratha reservations may upset other OBC communities. How soon is the big question. Bureau Report, NDTV.